Alright, so today we are working on my 528i wagon. I'm removing some seats. I'm also doing a center console removal and the whole thing, but that's going to be enough for another video you're probably going to see right after this one, or before this one, the other one, I don't know. You'll see it though, it'll show up, but I'm going to remove these seats today. The removing seats is actually a pretty easy job to do. It's not difficult at all. Some tools you're going to need is a T50. This is what gets the bolts off that actually hold the seat down. I'm going to be using this pick right here, and I'll show you why later in the video as to why I need this, because there is one thing you'll need it for. And lastly, this is going to be a T20. I think the T20 should fit. On the driver's side of the car, there's going to be a little screw right there. It's a Torx screw. Now, it is a difficult screw to get to. What I normally do is just lift the seat all the way up and forward a little bit, and you got a lot more clearance right there. Let me clarify, this is a T20 real quick. It's not a T20, I lied. It's not the T20. I believe it should be this one. Actually, which this one is a T30. So that's where there's gonna be a T30. Now, like I said, the driver's side is the only side that has this on it. And the reason you need to get that off is because you can't actually move the seat back far enough to get to that bolt right there. Now, the bolt is like right under it. You'll see it, I think, if you can see on the camera, but bolt's right under that. You have to get this off. And on this side, you've got another one. Now you see screw hole right there. There's also another screw you got to get out in that spot, which is also going to be a T30. But got to get these two off first to start it off on the driver's side, and then I'll kind of go from there. Now, I've gotten that piece off. Now you can see that it uncovers this right here. Now, I know I mentioned previously that you need to get this panel right here off, but for me, and it may be the same for every car, I'm not sure, this one may just be broken or not in place properly. For me, to get this bolt right there, you see right there, I just lift this piece up and scoot it over, and I have full access to that bolt right there for the seat bolt. Some cars may not do this. I don't know if this one's just not in place properly, but this is how I've always gotten the seat out. These are comfort seats, and these seats did not come with this car. I had to put them in myself, but like I said, some cars may not have that. Just want to get that off over there, and then you have access to the two front bolts, which we're going to go ahead and get off now, which, like I mentioned before, is going to be a T50. Just going to put those there and get them off real quick. All right, and now once you got those two bolts out in the front, you're going to want to scoot this seat all the way forward as far as it goes. And you can tilt it up a little bit if you can. Get all the way forward so we have plenty of room in the back. All right, there should be good. Matter of fact, that's the max it'll go, so perfect, works out. I'm gonna go ahead and take our pick, our wrench. I'm kind of move back here now. Alrighty, so the back behind the seat has a few different things here, more than the front. You've got the two seat bolts right there. You have your seatbelt bolt right here, which needs to come off as well. And lastly, the one thing that always got me, and still does, is this little thing right here. And this little guy has a cable to it, and this is what controls the seatbelt movement on the pillar up here. It controls this up there, and that's what, when you're moving the seat forward and backwards, pulls it forwards, up and down, to make sure that the seatbelt is not in a bad position. Now, getting these things off is a really big pain in the butt, and I'm gonna make sure I try and show in this video the best way to do it, at least for me, what's worked for me. They're usually always hard to get off. You can actually see that I've scratched out in a little bit, but it doesn't matter. So we're gonna go ahead and get off the bolts. Remember, seatbelt bolt, and with this one and the one on the other side, and then we'll move to this thing back here. All right, so now that I've got all the bolts out, I'm gonna try and find a way that I can show you guys how to get this little guy off. It's pretty annoying, but pretty much what has to happen is, sorry, this is like a very iffy spot to try and get in with the camera, but this little arm right here, you'll see it, that little arm right there where the end of the thing is at, has to swivel up, and when it swivels up, it unlocks it, and this little pin right here slides straight out. Now, the hard part comes with getting that arm to swivel up. I've done it so many times in this car that it probably is going to come up pretty easy for me, but it may not come up easy for you. It's probably going to be a fight. I am You know, it's a difficult thing to do on these seats. It's probably the hardest part of removing the seats. But once you get one seat out and you know how to do the one seat, you'll know always how to get these seats out. They're pretty easy after that once you just keep doing it. But the driver's side is the same as the passenger as far as everything I've done. So you won't need to, like once you get this seat out, you shouldn't have any issues with getting the passenger out, as it's the exact same, just reverse, flipped around. But I'm gonna try and set up the camera in a way where you guys can watch me do this. It's the most annoying thing of it all, so let's see what I can do. All right, so I've kind of got like a good angle. I'm gonna push this pick behind it and try and pick up on that a little bit. Bear with me here. So like I mentioned, this is a super annoying piece to get out. I'm gonna see if I can get it to pick up some here. Now, if anyone has a better way of doing this and it's worked for you better, please let me know. I'm open to any suggestions. But you see now, I just picked it right there, and it's actually lifting now. Right there. Now it's lifted. All right, now once it's lifted, slide it all the way back and just pull it out. And that little piece will slide forward because it's on like it's got some tension behind it, so it's gonna pop forward. And putting it back on, the same exact way of taking it off, as instead you wanna like get the pin, push it in and flip it back over. But you wanna make sure when you, like, do not bolt the seat down when you go to reinstall the seat. Make sure that you grab that piece first and pull it to this so that you can flip it back over before bolting the seat in, because it makes it a lot harder once the seat's bolted in. But that's removing the seats. And once you do that, you're gonna come up here and we're gonna go ahead. Oh, the car's gone to sleep on me. Wake the car up real quick. Gonna move the seat all the way back. Not all the way back, actually. You're gonna wanna move the seat. I'm gonna go as low as possible. All right, and then what I try and do with my seat is I try and get it where that bar right there is poking out just a little bit, almost flush with the front of it. And the reason for that is because it makes it a lot easier to get out. So probably about right there is where I'd say I'd put it. And then we're gonna go on to unplugging this, but I'll go to that next. On the passenger side though, the little clip down here actually flips down. Oh well, I just flipped it around, but it actually flips down instead of up. So that's the difference with this clip. But still easy to remove. Well, for me it is easy to remove. I can't really speak for you because I've done this on this car specifically like 40 times now, it feels like. So, but I wanted to note that while I was taking it out. But everything else is the same as far as where the bolts are at and whatnot. So, alrighty. So for unplugging this, it's pretty simple. A lot of people do recommend you unplug the battery for this part. This is where you're going to be unplugging the seat. And sometimes what can happen is if you unplug the seat with the battery still connected, sometimes the car, when you plug everything back in, will have an airbag light on, and you'll have to go to the dealership to get it off. So go ahead and unplug the battery and get that all sorted. And once that's all done, these are really easy to remove. I'm just gonna use a simple flathead right here. And there's a little tiny window right here, you'll see it. I'm gonna put the flathead right there in it. And literally all you do is just push out. When you do that, this comes out just like that. And you're all good to go. Pop this back up, move this out of the way, and get a second person to help you getting the seat up, because this is a pain to get out by yourself. Definitely would recommend getting another person to help you. I'm gonna try and set the camera up and see if I can kind of show you guys how me and my dad maneuver it out of this car. It's a little difficult, but once you do it a few times, it becomes easier. But yeah, that's seat removal. As far as unbolting and unplugging everything goes, it's pretty simple in these cars. It's just that one little clip way back there that's kind of hard to get out, but we're gonna go ahead and get it out now and make sure you also pull this through. But yeah, now time to get it out. One thing I forgot to mention in that was to make sure your seat is leaned all the way forward as far possible as it can go, and make sure your headrest is all the way down. pretty much what you're trying to do in this case is make the seat as small as humanly possible to make sure you can get it out pretty easy with no trouble. So yeah, make sure the seat's all the way forward, headrest is all the way down, and you've got, well, the backrest is all the way forward, and you've got the seat kind of flush with the front of it. And just like that, we've got the seat out. And like I said, removing the seat is the exact same on the passenger side. It's not any different. So once you get this seat out, you'll be good to go. I'm not gonna record this one because it'll literally just be me doing the same exact thing. But that is the E39 seat removal for you.